We play and call it work.
MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com. Here with Josh. Welcome Wargamers to a special video. In this video, you're going to start to collect Space Wolves. In fact, in the starter pack that Games Workshop sells, it's called Start Collecting Space Wolves. And this is the exact set that you get when you start collecting them. They have a few of these. They got one for Chaos Space Marines, Blood Angels, Space Marines.
Space Marines, I think they do Skitarii.
I think they have Dark Eldar.
Tyranids.
Yeah, there's a bunch that they do.
There's quite a few. I don't think they've covered every army.
Not
so
every
far,
single army, I know for sure, not every single one.
They're pretty close to it, I believe.
But for this one, the Space Wolves is actually one of the most popular ones, and it happens to be an army that I collect and love, so we're going to be focusing on this. In this video, you'll see what you get in this set. This is the bare bones basic set. In the next video that we're working on, which will be a vault video, which you can click on the link below to see that, we're going to build upon that list and make it a 1,500 point army to see what you can build towards, using this as a base where you would start collecting your miniatures. So let's dive right in and see what models you get. All right, Josh, why don't you start off and explain this formation to us?
So yeah, one of the cool things that they've done with all the start collecting boxes is that they give you a formation that includes all of the models in the box. So it's a cool way to kind of build off the army. This one is the Death Pack formation. The formation rule is for glory, for Russ. And the way it works is in the shooting phase, any unit that is within 12 inches of the Wolf Lord gets to pick one of two options. They either get to pick the option of rerolling ones on their shooting. So if they miss on a one, they get to reroll that. So almost preferred enemy. And then the other option they have is that they can run in the shooting phase and still be able to assault in the assault phase.
That's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. I mean,
huge.
Especially for the Space Wolves army, that you've got the flexibility. I think it's the perfect little formation that they've written up. The other thing that's nice that I always make sure I point out to people when I talk about the Death Pack as well is that all the units aren't stuck picking the same option. So in the case of this, your Grey Hunters could pick to reroll their misses of one, and the Thunderwolf Cavalry can do the run and charge.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. And that's really sweet. And you did mention the 12-inch bubble with the Lord as well, that they have to be within 12 of him in order to do that.
Which is pretty easy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had reduced the size to like only a 6-inch bubble. 12-inch bubble is pretty handy.
Is it pretty hefty? What do you think? Do you think it's too much?
I don't think it's too much, but it gives good coverage of the battlefield.
Absolutely. Now, the only thing, too, is that this formation only consists of these models here.
Right, so you can't go throwing a ton of other stuff in there.
Right, you can't benefit a whole bunch.
For Grey Hunters, just even the formation making use of the run and charge for Thunderwolves, that alone is enough for me.
Yeah.
The reroll shooting is just this little extra cherry on top.
Just these guys alone, I mean, the Thunderbolts, they can take out half an army.
Yeah, definitely. And being able to do the run and charge, having fleet, that's enough to get you into combat most
Again,
times.
is it mean? Would you bring that to a birthday party? And is that a good gift for somebody?
Would I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you
would I
would.
recommend doing it? Not necessarily. But, I mean,
Starting with the Wolf Lord.
What they've done is they give you the Space Marine Commander sprue, which gives you a whole bunch of different weapon options, cool looking torso, and then it lets you draw from the accessories from the other sprues to build a really kind of cool looking Wolf Lord. But they use the Space Marine Commander as the basis for that.
Yeah. So basically as well, when you get this Start Collecting Space Wolves set, you pretty much get this Wolf Lord for free. If you were to buy everything separately, you would have to pay that much extra for it. So you pretty much get this model for free when you get this pack. So it's a good deal. I'm not going to say the exact price because prices vary per country, but that's the equivalent, and that's what it should be. And he is equipped with a Frost Sword.
Yeah, we decided to equip him with a Frost Sword, but with all the different weapon options, because the Space Wolf sprues are pretty awesome sprues for having all sorts of little doodads, extra weapons, and just cool looking pieces. You can pretty well equip them almost however you want.
And I think it's a pretty good standard. Every single head looks... The thing I like about the Space Wolves is that you can really tell that it's a Space Wolf on the battlefield. It's not even close to a generic Marine. Like not even close.
No, they don't like their helmets. And
They don't. They like to breathe the air using their face and not through a helmet.
Speaking as a guy with a big beard, I don't know how you could wear a helmet.
That might get caught in there.
It would take a lot of effort to make sure it doesn't get caught.
Yeah, I think it would, but that's okay. This sounds like really big deja vu, actually. I think we've had this conversation once.
I think
before.
we have once or twice before.
The beard getting caught in face is definitely a topic of conversation that we've had before. But moving on to the next unit here. This is a 10-man unit of Grey Hunters. That's what you get in the pack. We've equipped them as such. On the pack leader, we've given him Wolf Claws because why not? Wolf Claws are higher strength, then they look cool, and it just makes sense. You can't equip any other guy with Wolf Claws, and so we figured we'd do that. And he also attacks at initiative, so that's really good for close combat. In addition to that, here you see 3 special weapons, and that's the cool thing about Grey Hunter squads is that you can actually give an additional power fist, which you see on the very right there, to a squad member. So he's not stuck on a pack leader and he's not forced to be in a challenge and then you lose him. He is free to attack anyone he chooses.
Yeah, the hidden power fist is always nice because you can't really single him out very easily to get rid of that.
No, not very easily at all. So that's really cool. That's another good reason why you collect Grey Hunters. And in addition to that, we have a plasma gun and a melta gun, just to give us some options and variety. Arguably, you could put 2 meltas or 2 plasma or 2 flamers or a flamer and a melta or a flamer and a plasma, but we've chosen to do the plasma and a melta just to give us the variety in case kind of run into any situation where that could help you out, and it seems to be good. And that is the 10-man Grey Hunter pack.
Well, the other one we jumped into is, I believe for these guys, we gave them the additional close combat weapon.
That is correct, yeah. And so, yeah, a couple points each for upgrade there. And, I mean, you've got to do that. If you're going to have this many guys, and especially with Space Wolves, because you have their counterattack. So that's huge.
Well, the squad's built to be aggressive. I mean, we've got 2 close combat weapons in there. We've got 2 special weapons that are decent on the move. It kind of makes sense that, they have a lot of flexibility in the build. And that's why I tend to like the Grey Hunters as well, is you can kind of build them to take on almost any situation. Yeah,
they're very strong Marines. They're a bit stronger than your average Marine, so that's what I like about them too. But I think that's it. Oh yeah, and we put melta bombs too on the pack leader. We did do that.
Right. I mean, for the 5 points, it just makes sense sometimes that if you need to, you don't want to get tied up by a dreadnought.
Yeah, we had the 5 points to do it. So in the event that your power fist dies, or you're going up against a dreadnought with a higher front armor, then that could help you. Yeah, you got to watch out for those Furiosas. That's not good for business.
Definitely, because I think at the time of filming this, 2 dreadnoughts got a little bit of a boost. So
yes,
anything anti-dreadnought is definitely worthwhile.
So last but not least, we have the Thunderwolf Calvary, and we have these guys kitted out differently, one from another, and it's partly due to the fact that the models that I have here have only warranted this loadout. But had we had full control over the modeling, probably would have had a Storm Shield on all of them. But as you can see right now, starting with the first one, we have a Thunderhammer Storm Shield. On the second Thunderwolf, we have just a Storm Shield. And on the third, we have no upgrades, just a Bolter and Chainsword, which is actually good by itself because you have Strength 5 as your base, and then they're all rending as well. So,
yeah, they're incredibly powerful models.
Absolutely. So heck, even if you had an entire unit and there were no upgrades, with the exception of one, I would say one with a Storm Shield at least, that's beefy. Yeah, that's scary. The only downside is that they're 2 wounds each.
That's their downside?
That's their downside, yeah. See, in my mind, I'm comparing them to Blood Crushers, right? And Blood Crushers are 3 wounds, but they're toughness 4, they're not toughness 5. These guys are toughness 5, so that makes them more survivable.
Yeah, toughness 5 with access to a 3-up invuln with a Storm Shield,
Is that mean?
I'd take that over 3 wounds any day.
Would you take it over 3 wounds?
100% of the time.
Yeah, so would I. It was a test, yeah. I just want to see your face. Yeah. You passed the test. So this is what you get in the starter pack. I think it's a good jumping off point. You can definitely, this is a smart way to start the army. You definitely have to have Thunderwolves. Grey Hunters are a must. I mean, what's a Space Wolves army without Grey Hunters? You kind of...
It's not necessarily a very good Space Wolves army is what it is.
Right. It's like you're cheesing. That's what's happening, right? And a Wolf Lord is good too. It's a good generic start to the army. What we're going to do is we're going to jump right into the Vault video where we add on to this list. And as always, if you could leave your comments below, let us know what you think should be added as well. We'd like to see your opinions and your suggestions. And if you want to see what we're going to add, then click on that link below. Watch it in the Vault so that you can participate in that discussion. And if you're not a Vault member, we invite you to click on that link below, sign up for a free 7-day trial to the Vault so that you can see this video as well as everything else that is in the Vault. All the painting tutorials and campaign battle report videos and 40k bat reps, there's fantasy bat reps. And if you're a silver Vault member, you actually get access to the painting tutorials. You gotta be silver. Got to mention that because there's a difference. But anyway, we're going to jump right in. Click on the link below. We'll see you in the next video.